Here's a video of the questions that I went over during the April 8th Google Meet from 11:30 to 12. So this was January 2019 quadrilateral questions. I put the file on Google Classroom and students had to print it out before they came into the Google Meet. So in the Google Meet, we started with question number 7, which gave us a rhombus, and it asked us, using that this is a rhombus, VENU, and you have the diagonals intersecting at S. And VN is 12. That means each of these is 6. EU is 16. Each of these is 8. Because a rhombus is a parallelogram, and in a parallelogram, the diagonals bisect one another. The diagonals are perpendicular because it's a rhombus, so I'm putting a right angle here. So you use the Pythagorean theorem, 8 squared plus 6 squared equals x squared. From the Pythagorean theorem, you will end up getting 10, and then you multiply by 4 to get the perimeter. If you're looking at number 12, which statement about parallelograms is always true? So in the Google Meet, we went through each of the choices, and the answer was choice 3, choice 2, the diagonals bisect each other. That would always be true in a parallelogram. In the other choices, the diagonals are congruent. That could be a rectangle or a square. The diagonals are perpendicular. That would be a rhombus or a square. And the diagonals bisect their respective angles. That would be a rhombus or a square. So it wouldn't be true in all parallelograms. In number 26, they tell us that you have this parallelogram adjacent to this rhombus. And then they tell us that this measures 118 degrees, which means that measures 118 degrees. This measures 118 degrees. Opposite angles in a parallelogram are congruent. In a rhombus, these angles would be corresponding angles, so those would be congruent as well. And then opposite angles in a rhombus are congruent, so that's 118. The measure of angle AHC is 138 degrees. So that means this is 42 degrees. Linear pairs are supplementary. And they're asking us to find the measure of angle GFH. That's x. So we have x plus 42 plus 118 equals 180. You get 160, subtract 160, and you will get 20 degrees. So the measure of angle GFH is 20 degrees. Okay, looking at number 32, you have to plot the points to really help you with your intuition here. So we have -2, 4 is A, 6, 2 is B, and C is 1, -1. So they're asking us to prove that this triangle is an isosceles right triangle. To prove it's isosceles, we need to prove two sides are congruent. It appears these two sides are congruent. So you have AC and BC. And in the Google Meet, we discussed that you just, to find AC, find out how far the x's are, how far the y's are. So you get the square root of 34. For BC, how far the x's are, how far the y's are. Square those numbers and then get the square root. So you can see the triangle's isosceles, okay? So ABC, triangle ABC is isosceles since AC equals BC. That means the sides have equal measure. To prove that it's a right triangle, we're going to prove that angle C is a right angle using slopes. So we did slope of AC. So the change in the y values is 4 minus -1. -2 minus 1, so that's 5 over -3. The slope of BC, the change in the y values is 2 minus -1, 6 minus 1. So you could see that these are negative reciprocals. That's the slang term. Technically, you're supposed to say opposite signed reciprocals. So slopes are opposite reciprocals. Therefore, AC is perpendicular to BC, and the measure of angle C equals 90 degrees because perpendicular lines form right angles, and therefore triangle ABC is a right triangle. And obviously it's an isosceles right triangle since it's both isosceles and right. The last question was a Euclidean proof. In this problem, they wanted us to prove that EF was congruent to GH. So I discussed with the students that they need to look that those are in these two triangles, triangle 1 and triangle 2. So we're going to use CPCTC. We start off, they tell us AE is congruent to CG. BE is congruent to DG. AH congruent to CF. AD congruent to CB. So, of course, you would put the givens first. I started in line 2 in the Google Meet. We did AE plus EB is congruent to DG plus GC, semicolon, AB congruent to DC. That's addition property. So then we said that this was a parallelogram in line 3. We said ABCD is a parallelogram. Okay, and that's because two pairs of opposite sides are congruent. Then you have a parallelogram. So then we said that AB was parallel to DC, and that's because in a parallelogram, opposite sides are parallel. So then after that, if you look at this Z here, we get these angles. Oh, put that in the wrong place. So we get that this pair of angles are congruent. You can call it 1 and 2. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Parallel lines. AIA congruent. So now we have two sets of pieces. Then we use reflexive property. So we have HF is congruent to HF. Reflexive. Then we use addition again. So we do AH plus HF is congruent to HF plus FC, semicolon, AF congruent to HC. That's addition property. And then after that, we said that triangle AEF was congruent to triangle CGH by side included angle side. And last but not least, EF is congruent to GH by CPCTC. Okay, thank you very much, and I will look forward to seeing you next week.